All right, so today I'm going to show you my next project. It's a boat build of sorts. It's going to be kind of a long project, but it should hopefully be done before I need it in the spring. But with the temps coming, it's looking like spring might come a little sooner than what it normally might. So what I have here is a Gator Tracks Gator Hide Generation 1, I believe. It's a full decked over John boat. These pits here are for duck hunting. They come out and there's like flaps like a layout blind. See all the grass? We were duck hunting with it last. I'm hoping that driving it down the road will clean that grass off. So there's 4 pits. There's 1 dry box, and the second dry box is like a gun box. Right now I just got some random stuff in it. So what I'm calling this the modular boat build, mainly because this rail, it goes all the way down the sides. That is all coming off, and I'm going to replace it with extruded aluminum with T-slots, so I can attach anything I want to it all the way down. So it'll come all the way back to here. Probably not on the back. On the back there's going to be some other kind of extruded thing, so I can put my transducer back here. I've got side scan sonar that's going to go on it. So the rail is the first thing, the sonar is the next thing. I think this trolling motor is going to stay where it's at, and I'm going to make a bow fishing light rail that mounts to the extrusion. Right now I use this just like an elevated deck that mounts on top of it there, and then I just used ratchet straps to hold it down. Normally this closes, I think. So just probably just, oh, the latch is stuck open. Boom. Or stuck, locked, whatever. So anyway, I think the trolling motor is going to stay that way just because it interferes with this stuff when it's down the middle, and it takes up a bunch of room that's used for standing. When I bought this boat, that's actually where it was mounted, was right there. You can see where it was welded, and I cut it off. I've actually had this trolling motor mounted in I think 3 places since I've owned it, and I think this is where it's going to be. It's not perfect, but for doing everything I want to do with it, that's about where it's got to be. So like I said, rail comes off, new rail goes on. Trolling motor stays, well, I'm gonna have to rip it off because obviously it's attached to the rail, but the trolling motor comes off and goes back on. I think I'm gonna replace these. This thing, I use it for a step. I think I'll replace them and put them underneath the rail. That way I can use the rail as a step. Right here I'm gonna put like a receiver tube for like a trailer hitch. I'm gonna mount a winch right there, so I can use that as a power anchor. But also, I take this boat in some skinny water, and you never know when you're going to need to either winch it back on the trailer. Not, you know, you don't want to crank it all the time. That crank kind of isn't that good for pulling a full boat up on a trailer that's dry. So I could also get it stuck on the river somewhere. Wouldn't be the first time. So the reason why I run skinny water, this guy back here, it's 100 horse Mercury that I added the jet intake to, and a jack plate. I modified all this already. This was just a chintzy little short transom. It only came to about here, but I needed an extra tall transom, so I figured what would be best for the future would be make it into a tall transom, which I thought that was a crack, but that's just paint that's wore off. I was scared for a second. Thought the motor was going to fall off. So this right here is solid. It's not solid. It's C-channel, but it's super solid. It's just not solid aluminum. But that's welded to this is tubing, like 2x3 or 4 aluminum tubing. Got a thick gusset here. I just plated the outside of this other bracket with 1/4 inch aluminum all the way around, so it's solid. We got jack plate, which makes it the extra tall transom. But then it still needed a little more if you can't tell. Like, I'm not sure how high this is, but it seems like it's like 30 inches off the bottom of the boat, which, whatever. Looks like a giant motor if it's sticking way up out the back of the boat. I look cool at least. So it is tiller steer. Got my seat, my grab bar. I'll probably do something different up here because I have 2 fish finders, one for the front, one for the back. This has got some switches. I might make a more of a console that almost maybe would stay here. I'm not sure. That's down the road. What else do I have? I talked about the bow fishing light rail. It's gonna have, I think 10 or 11 LED floodlights. In here I've got 2 RV power converters, 2 batteries that make it a 24-volt system. Generator goes back there. That way I don't have to worry about my batteries dying. The lights are 24 volts. Trolling motor's 24 volts. So I'm gonna do a lot of work on those. I'm gonna mount the converters probably right under here, up underneath, so they'll never be in the water. I've had problems where I got water in the boat, left it in the rain, or the plug fell out of the boat, or I forgot the plug. I like to think that the plug fell out. The one time I know it did, I put it in when it was like 40 degrees, and then I went out when it was 10 degrees, or -10. Yeah, it was -10. I had to cut the ice to get in on the river, but apparently just contraction just made it so when I put it in the water, it just popped right out. So I had to stick my hands in the below freezing water, -10. I got it back in. Then we got the boat stuck on the ice. It took about an hour. There was only 2 of us, but we got it off, and we didn't die. I mean, not saying we didn't almost die, but we didn't die, so that's what really matters. What else did I have to do on this? I've got some parts bought already. Probably I've got some new hydro turf. This stuff flaking off, and I'll probably end up melting some hydro turf when I'm doing welding, so I'll probably replace some of that. I really like this hydro turf. There's also stuff called C-Deck. I'm sure that's just as good. This stuff gets a little warm when it's sunny, but it's not like it's black or like an aluminum deck. Those get smoking hot. White would be better, but obviously you see how dirty this is. And sometimes when I'm duck hunting, I just basically just throw some stuff over top of this, some, you know, stuff. So I need to have it camo. These right here are spud poles or shallow water anchors. They go in these corners. I got one of these in each corner. I made these, but the machinist in me came out when I was making them, and I made this tolerance way too tight, or the clearance too tight. So I need to figure out a way to ream these out another, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch, because right now they'll get stuck. Any amount of sand or ice or anything, they will get stuck in there, and it's really hard to get them out. So that's, I was gonna make a custom reamer and never have. I'm scared I'm gonna break my wrists. I should have been thinking when I was making them and made them bigger around, but you can see they've already wallered out pretty good, and you can see where the sand is ground it. So they're getting looser, but they need a good reaming. So that's on the list. The boat wrap's still looking pretty good. Kind of had a mishap where the logo got put right behind the tire, but it is what it is. So that's basically, I think, all we're gonna do here. I'm gonna drain all the gas and put new gas in, because I was trying to run it during duck season and the gas was frozen in the line. So there's obviously water in there. So basically that's that. We're gonna run some new wiring for the trolling motor, wiring for the winch, wiring for the lights. So lots of work to do, but it shouldn't be incredibly hard. I'm looking forward to that new light rail. It'll be easy to take off, so when I'm fishing I don't have lights and stuff on there. It'll be faster, and I don't know, it seems like I get bad fuel economy in my truck when I've got the big bow fishing deck on there. It's just extra wind resistance, so it should help out a lot. Oh, I'm gonna put an extra seat, probably put a seat pedestal thing right there, so when I'm fishing I can get lazy and sit up front. these pits make it really hard to place the pedestals. I got one here underneath this stuff, so when I'm driving, my buddy can sit there. I got one inside that pedestal, or not the pedestal's inside this. I did a little math incorrectly, so I got a keyhole shaped hole. Then it goes all the way down in the bottom of the boat into the subfloor. So I don't know if I'm gonna add more cleats. I've got 8 cleats on the boat, 4 down each side. I think once I weld a good rail on there that don't have crappy welds around part of a yeah, wait, there it is. They got these little holes here so stuff could drain, but that makes it so this weld breaks. So hopefully once I get a nice good solid weld on there, then I could strap to this again, because if I wanted to strap anything down, then yeah, it was sketchy. I want to figure out a way to get this 4-wheeler up on here, but I think the 4-wheeler is just too gosh darn big. I need to measure to see if it'll fit long ways. I can make ramps and come up the side. Normally you'd put it on the front. There's trolling motor up there, and the 4-wheeler is over 48 inches wide, and the front of this boat's only like 42 inches wide. So I would like not be able to do that. So anyway, I have probably talked your ear off. So look forward to seeing these builds. Like I say, I'll probably start working on it, I don't know, very soon. Probably start working on it before you see this video. Like I said, that's it. Looking forward to using it this summer. Hopefully I can do some fishing videos or just some random cool videos in it. So anyway, I will see you later.